this street persona and this act that you're bringing forth is allowing the people that are really like that to say, yo, I can rap.
Right.
Yo, or if he's doing that, I'm really
out
here doing it.
Yeah,
Why don't y'all let me rap?
I really sold 10 bricks. I really shot at the cops, or I really was on the run. So who better to tell that type of life story than the person who's actually done it?
That really did it.
What's up?
Yo, welcome back.
Welcome back to Beat Sneaks and Rhymes. All right, he's Fever. I'm Simone Arabia. You already know what it is. Thank you guys for coming back. Thank you guys for sharing, liking, subscribing.
Word. Shout out to everybody that is genuinely interested in the conversations that we're having. People that's commenting and conversating and
shout
indulging.
out to Brandon. Brandon always.
Yeah, shout out to Brandon.
Always
Brandon
comments.
representing Chi-Town, right?
I think so. Always hitting us up. Always.
Chi.
Every time we drop an episode, a segment, he always gives us good conversation. So thank you, brother. We definitely appreciate you and your support. We're gonna get right into it. This is our official, unofficial culture segment where we chat about the things that we feel are important to us to talk about within the culture. Sometimes that'll be about sneaker culture, it'll be about hip hop itself. So this segment, we have decided to talk about a very serious topic, and that topic is
the streets.
The streets.
And hip hop.
Yes.
And the correlation, the contrast, and the comparison.
Keeping it real.
And the keeping it real.
All of those things.
Yeah, all of those things.
Yeah, and how that works out within the culture and how that impacts us within the culture and the people outside of the culture looking into the culture.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's no doubt that hip-hop, we all know, started from the street. It started from parties of bringing us together, gangs. Yes, together. You know, to piece things. A
lot of stuff was going on.
A lot of friction in the hood. A lot of poverty, confusion going on, let's say. You know, when we...
Racism was still running rampant.
Stricken with poverty. Sometimes we get confused and we go against each other.
Yes.
You know, and
you're poor.
And hip hop was a thing created to bring us together, to have peace.
To forget our troubles.
In a nutshell. So there's no doubt that, you know, hip hop is we are here. We all know that hip hop derived from streets of New York. The culture. So whenever, you know, we have anything that goes down with hip hop, it always reflects back. Now, with that being said, it is also a business.
It is.
Because it is a music business. It is a music, you know.
It is a big business.
And it evolved from being a party jam to being the biggest music record business today.
Yes.
With that being said, I can remember a time where, you know, hip hop and street were together, but it was separate. So that means that, you know, you hear now with these stories, or you always know of these stories, even if you look at stuff like the 5 Heartbeats. I can't think right now, but other stuff where behind the scenes you may have the people, the hustlers, the drug dealers or whatever that may be behind the scenes that back the record label, or they are the manager, they're the money behind pushing an artist to be big. So that is where the streets have always been in line with the music biz and in hip hop.
I mean, Frank Sinatra and the Mafia.
Yeah. With that thin line, there has always been the artist, and then there's been the street.
Yes.
And there seems like there was a time in hip hop where those started to collide. and become more. You know, we went through our processes, our evolving from the party jams. We went to conscious rap. You know what I mean? And then we went to this thing where we call it keeping it real, where artists were so profound in their lyrics and in interviews, and their persona was that everything about them and their music is the real thing, the real deal.
Right.
And there's a confusion of real, because being real is meaning that there's nothing fraudulent about you.
Right.
Being real has nothing to do with what you do on the street or how you hustle or how you, you know what I mean? Because I sell drugs doesn't make me a real individual.
Right.
Because I hustle whatever,
Right.
you know, guns, it doesn't make me, quote unquote, a real individual.
Right.
And this all stems from gangster rap. We had gangster rap come in after the conscious era. During this time, I think a lot of artists and a lot of fans alike had become frustrated with what was labeled gangster rap.
Yes.
You know, you had a lot of people that were used to partying. They were used to feel good music. They were used to being able to listen to the music wherever.
Right.
And I think like gangster rap brought along profanity.
Absolutely.
It brought along other stuff within the lyrics that maybe just didn't coincide with everyone. So even with that, between the fans and the artists, when that frustration, there became this, people were fake gangsters. You know, you had CB4, the movie, and Gusto. And this whole thing of, you know, rappers taking this persona of the street.
Right. Yeah, MC Gusto stole somebody's persona.
The street persona.
He was a street dude.
And this is what the thing that was going on. So this is the thing that is making people famous. You are a gangster. You're from the street. So people are coming into rap saying, yo, this is me. I'm a thug. I'm a gangster also.
Right.
And then it's just like, now you're opening up a lane for real gangsters.
Right.
This street persona and this act that you're bringing forth is allowing the people that are really like that to say, yo, I can rap.
Right.
Yo, or if he's doing that, I'm really out here doing it.
Yeah,
why don't y'all let me rap?
I really sold 10 bricks. I really shot at the cops, or I really was on the run. So who better to tell that type of life story than the person who's actually done it?
That really did it.
You know what I'm saying? We could see the talent in somebody, our homeboy or whatever, and we wanted to make sure that he got his music out there. So we put our, you know, street money into it. But we ain't want to be no rapper. And
that's the thing. And I've been, just like you said, I've been hearing that, and I've been saying this like almost before when I was an adult. I've been saying, because there was a time where if you were into hip hop on a street level, we're not talking about, because there was no internet, so we're not seeing these artists. We're not seeing, you know what I'm saying? If you were a hip hop fan and you were into it, there was a street dude that wasn't, and you look like a hip hop. You were a hip hop, not look like. You were a hip hop guy, and he was a street guy.
Yeah.
And
there's a very clear line of demarcation there. And now that line has been softened.
Yes.
And dissipated.
Yeah.
So what is the problem with that, though?
I won't necessarily say that there is a problem. Some may say that there is a problem. If you're into the culture, I think there's a lot of layers to that, because what we see as a powerful thing as our voice and what we can bring and what we can change for our people, because let's not stray away from where it started.
Right.
And how it started.
Right.
Now, grant, there's that thin line between it being a music business,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's the culture of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there is no other kind of music. All other genres of music have culture. But I think hip hop is so unique with its culture.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, you know, with hip hop and it being from the street and it reflecting from what it is, it brings some negative aura to hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
There's negativity in the streets. There's positivity in the streets.
And this is why we get death. So much death from hip hop.
Yeah.
This is why we get jail convictions for artists, two artists in hip hop. These are the negative things that happen so much within our culture that don't happen within other cultures. Yeah. You know, artists that derive from poverty and don't know how to separate themselves from the street.
Yeah.
And realize that they have something better and bigger, and then that be their demise because they feel some type of way about leaving home or changing their way of thinking or way of, you know what I'm saying, their process after you have made it from something that could have killed you at so young. Yeah. You know,
look at Young Dolph.
So many. So many. We're talking about modern.
Yeah.
I mean, modern. We're talking about present day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this goes back 30 years now. Some of it is really separated. But then some of it is not. And a lot more of the present day, let's just say the internet age of artists, is different because there's so much out there. You know what I'm saying? And we can see, and we can, you know what I mean? Like the whole thing, I don't know all of the facts and all of, but the whole thing with Pop Smoke and the thing, the facts lingering around him posting where he was at.
Yeah.
You know, here's an artist from New York, way in Los Angeles. Yeah. As far as I know of, there was no beef or anything. There is nothing, no friction that's going on.
Right.
But him being in LA, him showing where he lived, showing where he's staying at or whatever, and somebody finds out where you are, tries to rob you, and kills you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying that because I think just artists in the past, we can't necessarily say that it was tied around their persona of music all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just something else. You know, I can remember being young and one of the first people I remember losing was Scholar Rock.
Yeah, that was the biggest. That was one of the first.
And this is without internet. This is word carrying on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course you hear it on the radio. This is a time where we're not getting hip hop 24/7. We're not seeing it on the TV all day long or on the radio. R.I.P. to Scholar Rock. But yeah, I remember that. And I remember, you know, they had just came out damn near, and it was just like the DJ got killed already. You know,
and it was such a shock, you know, because there was a lot of confusion as to like why. You know what I mean? Like nobody, like now when we hear, unfortunately, from, you know, if a rapper gets killed, a lot of the time one of the first things I know that I think of is, I wonder what this person was into. Right, I don't know what this person
what they were into,
what their life was like, you know, and some of the choices that they may have made that might have put them in some certain circumstances that continue to follow them, and then this was the situation. But Scott LaRock's death, like we didn't even have that inkling, that information. Like it just was like, why? It wasn't that, and then it was like, it wasn't a car accident. It wasn't. It was like literally somebody took his life.
Yeah.
You know, and then of course you find out, you know, he tried to break up a fight and stuff like that.
Years later. Yeah.
You know, that was a big one for me. But another one that a lot of people don't even know, and that's because I'm from New York, was, you know, the group Rex-N-Effect. They originally had 3 members. You know, and there was a member, his name was Brandon. He got killed. You know, he got shot.
See, that didn't have anything to do with
like his life as a rapper.
life as a rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And how he presented himself from his life into rap. It didn't. You know,
exactly.
It literally was a separate scenario. And and early on it was like that. You know, people were getting killed and it wasn't necessarily, you know, but when do we start to have that line of blurring and then people starting to get killed?
I want to say when the streets recognize that there could be a way for them to get out. For, you know, when rap began to pick up and not be a fad or just this thing. We hear it in raps all the time how people insert rap in playing basketball or slinging crack now. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a way out the hood. Not only that, it's seen as an easy way out of the hood. Hip hop is so different again because this is a genre of music where you don't require to play an instrument. You don't require to really have to sing or have the skill, because people are blessed with a voice to sing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some people may have a little voice and then being able to be coached to sing better. But then a lot of people are just blessed. So many singers out there that have beautiful voices that are not singers. You know what I mean? They might be a nurse or something, because a lot of times they're blessed with this beautiful voice. Or you learn how to play an instrument. Hip hop is one of those, is a genre of music where people have come in and be like, yo, I can rap, and that's it. They be like, yo, I can make beats, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're cool enough, especially in this day and age, if you're just cool enough and people like your persona and everything that you got going for you, you're gonna be like, yo, I rap. And you have the support, and the next thing you know, you're on. So with that, what I'm saying that is that the street had seen this hip hop thing as a way to get on. So you had people from the street that was, you know, that saying, hey, I'm not going to school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm playing a block. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting my money off of this. Hey, why won't I just take this block money and try to become a rapper? Let me get out of this life and dedicate this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking away from anyone that has a talent and that really is into hip hop and they're into the street.
Right.
And this is their means of getting their career going. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is a large percentage of people that think that this is their way, hip hop is their way out the street. And with that, we have people that come from that mind state and thinking into hip hop, and then they don't leave that street thing alone.
Or what they don't realize is that I rap, my life is real. I want to get out of this scenario, so once I get on, I don't have to worry about the stuff. But what you don't realize is that you haven't done the work, right, internally, to get away from the life, right? You're using hip hop. And you're saying that hip hop is going to take you literally, physically, mentally, spiritually, everything out of the situation, because you think that once you become popular, once you start to make money, that you're not going to be tethered to that life.
You don't have that,
and that's not how life works, right? Because even if you take someone out of that scenario, and if you just have a real life situation of someone who went to college, right? Like I got a scholarship and I went away to school. Yeah, when school's over, you still have emotional ties. If you're not doing the work to be like, hey, look, that life was messed up and this is an opportunity for me. And so I'm not going to feel bad about not going back to the hood. I'm not going to feel bad about separating myself from that life that I don't want to live anymore. You know, some people, they're very naive.
Yeah, and it's the persona also that they have because of the content and the subject matter that they're putting out. This is something that they have to stay tethered to.
Well, and that's the thing. So it's like, okay, so you want to use hip hop as a vehicle to get out, but what you're using the thing that you're trying to get away from to sell records, like the life, the persona, everything, like. I'm trying to get out the hood, but you're rapping about hood shit.
Well,
you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but what I'm saying is that they don't understand how layered that, how complicated that is.
It's so many layers and complications, and I'm gonna keep on saying that's what makes hip hop so unique, because it's so many things that go on because of the culture and because it's of the street, and how many times things change in the street, and how many, you know what I'm saying? How it change.